This is a Heart and Hand production.
Hello everyone, it's David here, live from Ibrox Stadium as Rangers get ready to host St Mirren in the latest match in our SPFL season. The Rangers team is in, and it's quite an interesting one, not only for the players who are in, but for some of the ones who are out. In goals for Rangers, Jack Butland. Back four, James Tavernier, who's a captain of course. John Souttar returns to the side. He partners Manny Fernandez with Jada Magoma at left back. The midfield trio is Raskin, Diamande and Asgard, which of course means no Barron, and Moore, Gassama and Chermiti complete the lineup. On the bench for Rangers, Kelly, Nsiala, Aarons, Dowell, Barron, Curtis, Matondo is back, Cameron and Danilo. Joining me to discuss that team is Stuart McCall. Stuart, first of all, no Dujon Sterling.
Yep.
And no Miovski in the squad at all. We're waiting to hear from the manager to confirm the reasoning behind that. We're hopeful it's just obviously a little bit of guarding them for the match at the weekend. But it is an interesting lineup. Obviously, Souttar being brought in for minutes.
Yep.
Clearly with the game on Saturday in mind. But also because he's been an important first-team player, and if he's fit, he goes back into the side.
Well, it's a position that we're not,
blessed
with numbers or quality. So Sterling, just touching on him, I do hope it is just a bit of rest. He's also played a decent amount of minutes since he came back in, which probably wasn't in the plans for him to play that amount of minutes. So we'll find out about that hopefully soon. Miovski, we'll need to find out. I'm not surprised. I thought Souttar would get minutes tonight. I thought he would start.
I thought Souttar would start. I'm not surprised about that.
Gives us that sort of balance. The midfield, I'm a bit surprised that with Connor Barron not starting. He's on the bench again. It might be an illness or something.
Look, this time of year, illness is a fair old shout. But I am slightly concerned that we'll miss his energy in the middle of the park.
Yeah, he's been the first name in the team sheet for the past few weeks, and he's earned that. So again, the manager's got decisions to make. Raskin and Diamande are for me behind him right now in terms of form. Not surprised Mikey Moore's back in. I think the manager mentioned that he was unwell through last week, so him coming back in is not a surprise. The bench, decent enough options. Matondo, hasn't been in a squad for well over a year, I don't think. He was out on loan at the end of last season, and so that's a bit of a surprise. But again, it's another option because we're not blessed right now with them. So a few surprises to the team. Not too disappointed in terms of freshening it up. You need to do that when you've got these sort of 3 games in a week. Has to do it. So you're just hoping for a bit more of a spot to basically continue the sort of second half sort of form that we had at the weekend.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the 3 there, you'll have Asgard playing where he played at the weekend. Yep. Moore with a free roll in the middle, you'd imagine, and Gassama wide. Mm-hmm. And look, there should be creativity in there.
Well, you're hoping that Asgard does kick on after. If you can't get a confidence boost from a goal.
And a winning goal.
He was quiet.
He was quiet overall, but
you're hoping that he just something sparks him into life. Moore, I've not got any issues.
He also had that nice moment in the first half with a run and shot that went just wide.
Yeah, I've never doubted Asgard's quality of a football player. It's more the other bits round about it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think a lot of us are like that, where we look at him and we go, clearly you've got talent and you have physicality. It just, for me, the problem with Asgard has been that he seems to want a lot of time on the ball.
Yeah, and
you don't get it.
And he's not the first player that's come up here, and it's taking a lot of time to adapt to how quick the game is. A lot of people think Scottish football is a slow-paced, physical bit, but it's actually intensity, especially when you're playing us.
Yeah.
Gassama, he was better on Saturday than he has been. I think Gassama gave us more, although I still want more goals and assists from him. We spoke about enough about Chermiti. He was going to start tonight. He was probably better outside the box than he was for the majority of his career at Rangers so far, but he's still lacking that finishing touch.
Yeah, the filler touch. The other option then with Nomiovski is Danilo, and I'm not sure it suits him. I've always felt Danilo works better with someone to partner off.
Yeah, I think physically it's going to be hard to see him forging away into a Rangers career here. I was actually thinking Miovski might have come in tonight. The manager has switched him around about, but obviously he's not made it, so we'll find out about that. But look, not too many surprises. Again, Cameron and Curtis, they're not going to start at this stage. It's just a case of, I think the manager's trying to get as settled a team as he possibly can, and it's something I was speaking about a couple of weeks ago, where there was a lot of chopping and changing, and it's maybe him, just a new manager's coming in and trying to get something.
I think there was definitely an element of that.
So if he's trying to get a bit of consistency going in the starting 11, that's kind of where we need to go, because I don't think it helps players either when there's constant chopping and changing. So some players might need to play themselves into form, like Asgard, like Gassama. Yeah, you're just hoping that they find something tonight.
You know what you're going to get when you play St Mirren? They are very well organised, they're tough, they don't give you space, they press you high up, and they can play a bit, and they have pace up front that can cause you an issue.
Yep, well, they've got a very good manager. They've just come off and it was one of their biggest results in the last 50 years of their history.
That's a cup win.
And they've come off the back of that, they've taken 4 points out of 6, which sometimes coming off a cup win for a smaller club like that can be difficult.
It's
such a high.
Yeah.
So I heard Stephen Robinson saying he's going to make some changes for them tonight, and you know what you get for some, as you said, every one of their players give everything for their manager,
and they know their job.
And they're very well. And what I'll say is, you back to Saturday, we did create a lot of chances on Saturday, but I think Motherwell are the type of team that you do create chances against because they're quite open, whereas St Mirren are more very physical up front. They will try and attack you, but again, everybody gets back in the position. So we're going to need to be a bit more creative tonight, I think, than we were on Saturday to get a goal.
The other thing I think St Mirren will do is they'll come out the traps quite late. If you remember the game here last season that they won, they were 2-0 up at half time because Rangers started slowly and they took the lead. It was a bad mistake from Jack Butland that didn't help. But Rangers did pull it back in the second half, but had given ourselves too much of a amount to climb, and I think that might be their tactic again tonight.
Absolutely, and you go back to watching that cup final, they are very physical up front. Their strikers are very good, and they know what they're doing, and they're not scared to go a bit more direct and a bit more sort of over the top and get defenders facing the opposite way. So we'll need to be fully aware of that tonight. I'm just hoping that the winning Saturday against a good team gives us that air of confidence, and you know, two games at this time of the year at home. You know, you've kind of got to use that a wee bit.
Absolutely, you do,
I thought the crowd were there with them on Saturday. I thought they backed them. So it's a freezing night tonight.
It's isolated.
Hopefully just the players get us on side, get a good start, and then we can enjoy our night and not have to sit and suffer in the freezing cold all night, David.
That would be very pleasant. We'll be back after the game, folks. Until then, I'm on the Gers. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
That was a Heart and Hand production.